The billionaire CEO mocked the waitress, but she left him speechless. What if the smartest person in the room isn't wearing a suit? Stay with Metas isn't just a story about business. It's about breaking barriers, unexpected genius, and how the people we overlook can change everything. Nathan Caldwell, 42, thrived on control. He'd built Caldwell Technologies into a tech empire, its sleek devices and cutting-edge software shaping the digital age. His tailored suits, chiseled features, and piercing gray eyes dominated boardrooms, his impatience as legendary as his success. But tonight, control was slipping. A $2 billion merger with rival tech firm Nexus Dynamics hinged on a 200-page contract, dense with legal jargon that stumped even his Ivy League lawyers. Deadlines loomed, competitors circled, and Nathan's temper simmered. He needed a break. His driver suggested a diner blocks from the office, a faded spot called Millie's, with chipped formica tables and flickering neon signs. Nathan scoffed, but relented. He wasn't there to eat, just to think, away from his office's sterile hum. Inside Millie's, the air smelled of coffee and grilled onions. A jukebox played soft soul, and patron truck drivers, night shift nurses barely noticed the man in the $5,000 suit. Nathan slid into a booth, spreading the contract across the table, his pen slashing at baffling clauses, indemnification protocols, fiduciary contingencies, escrow stipulations. The words blurred into nonsense. Sophie Delgado, 28, watched from behind the counter. She'd worked at Millie's for 3 years, her deft hands juggling plates and pouring coffee with ease. Her dark hair was tied in a loose bun, and her hazel eyes held a quiet sharpness, like someone who saw more than she let on. Sophie had a gift for reading people. Years of serving strangers taught her to spot exhaustion, joy, or, in Nathan's case, barely contained frustration. She approached his booth, sneakers squeaking on linoleum. "Rough night?" she asked, her voice warm but not pushy, setting down a glass of water. Nathan didn't look up. "You could say that." She glanced at the papers, margins crowded with his furious notes. "Looks heavy. Want to talk it out?" Sometimes saying it aloud helps. He snorted, meeting her gaze. "What? You're a lawyer now. Stick to pouring coffee, sweetheart." Sophie's smile held, but her eyes sharpened. "Just trying to help. You look like you're wrestling a bear." "It's a contract," he snapped. "Unless you've got a law degree under that apron, I doubt you'd get it." She tilted her head, unfazed. "Try me." Translated into plain English. "If it's so tough, maybe a fresh perspective helps." Nathan's laugh was sharp, edged with arrogance. "Oh, you're a genius now? Fine, if you're so smart, translate it." He shoved the contract toward her, expecting her to back off. She didn't. Sophie picked up the document, fingers brushing the pages with care. Nathan watched, half amused, half annoyed, expecting her to falter. But Sophie's brow furrowed in focus, lips moving slightly as she read. She pulled a notepad from her apron, jotting precise notes. "Okay," she said after a few minutes, voice steady. "This section indemnification protocols, it's about who takes the hit if things go wrong. Like buying a car that breaks down the next day. This clause decides if you're stuck with the bill or the seller is. Your contract says Nexus Dynamics wants you to shoulder most of the risk if their tech fails post-merger." Nathan blinked. "That's not wrong." His tone was grudging, but curiosity sparked. "Go on." She flipped a page. "This escrow stipulation, it's like locking money in a safe neither of you can touch until conditions are met. They're asking for $500 million in escrow, which is steep. It ties up your cash flow. You could negotiate it down or add a phased release clause." Nathan leaned forward, skepticism wavering. "How do you know this?" Sophie shrugged, a hint of mischief in her smile. "I listen. I read. People underestimate waitresses, but we hear everything: deals, breakups, you name it. Plus, I like puzzles." He wasn't convinced, but let her continue. Over the next hour, Sophie unraveled the contract's complexity with startling clarity. She didn't just simplify, she spotted risks his legal team missed, like a clause letting Nexus back out without penalty if Caldwell's stock dipped below a threshold. She suggested counterclauses, her analogies making the abstract clear. It's like signing a lease, but leaving a loophole for the landlord to evict you without notice. Nathan's arrogance cracked. This wasn't just a waitress with a knack. There was logic, intuition, a mind that cut through noise like a knife. "Who are you?" he asked, half to himself. Sophie hesitated, setting the contract down. "Just someone good at figuring things out." "Done mocking me yet?" He didn't answer, but his silence spoke. The diner emptied as midnight neared, leaving just Nathan, Sophie, and the jukebox's hum. He pushed the contract aside, curiosity fixed on her. "You're not just a waitress, are you?" Sophie wiped the counter, movements deliberate. "I'm a lot of things, waitress, sister, daughter. Was a computer science major for a while, but life had other plans." "Computer science?" Nathan's eyebrows shot up. "Why'd you quit?" "Didn't quit." Paused. "Mom got sick, brother was struggling. Someone had to pay the bills." Her voice was matter of fact, but heavy. "Been teaching myself since. Coding mostly. Keeps my brain busy." Nathan leaned back, reassessing. "Coding? Like what?" She hesitated, then pulled out her phone. "I've been working on something. An app." She opened a demo, revealing a sleek interface that streamlined real-time communication across platforms: text, video, encrypted data transfers. It was intuitive, elegant, and eerily similar to a project his R&D team had failed to crack for months. This is good," he said, voice low. "Really good. Why haven't you pitched this to someone?" Sophie laughed softly. "Who's going to take a waitress seriously? I don't have a degree or a fancy resume, just code I write at 2 a.m. after shifts." Nathan's mind raced. Caldwell Technologies was losing ground to competitors with better communication tech. Sophie's app could be a game changer, but more than that, her ability to think, to innovate under pressure, was something his polished executives lacked. He'd built his empire on spotting talent, yet nearly missed it because of his biases. "You're wrong," he said finally. "Someone would take you seriously." "I would." Sophie raised an eyebrow, skeptical. "You? The guy who called me sweetheart and told me to stick to coffee." He winced. "Fair point. I was an ass. But I'm not stupid. You've got something special, Sophie. Let me help you build either sources, funding, a team. You name it." She studied him, unreadable. "Why should I trust you? You don't even know me." "Because I know talent when I see it," he said, earnest for the first time. "And you just saved my deal. Let me return the favor." Over the next week, Nathan couldn't shake the encounter. He finalized the Nexus deal using Sophie's insights, saving millions, but his thoughts kept drifting to her app, her mind, her story. He returned to Millie's, this time without a contract, just a proposal, a partnership to develop her app under Caldwell's umbrella, with Sophie as lead developer. Sophie was wary but intrigued. She agreed, on her terms. She'd keep her job at Millie's until the app launched, and she wanted a say in its development. Nathan, unused to being challenged, respected her more for it. As they worked together, he saw the world through Sophie's eyes, a world of late-night coding, scraping by, dreams deferred but never lost. She introduced him to her family, her mother, recovering but frail, her brother, a teenager with big dreams and bigger doubts. Nathan, who'd long seen success as a solo climb, began to understand the strength in community, in resilience born of necessity. The app, named Linksphere, launched 6 months later to critical acclaim. It wasn't just a product, it was a lifeline, making communication faster and safer for businesses and individuals. Sophie became a tech rising star, her story inspiring others overlooked. She started a scholarship fund for working-class students, ensuring others could finish what she'd started. Nathan changed too, overhauling Caldwell's hiring to seek talent in unexpected places: community colleges, small towns, diners. He never forgot Sophie's lesson: brilliance doesn't need a pedigree, it needs a chance. A year later, Nathan sat in Millie's again, now a regular. Sophie was there, not as a waitress but a guest, celebrating Linksphere's latest update. The diner was packed, the jukebox playing, the air buzzing with possibility. Nathan raised a coffee mug and a toast. "To underestimating people," he said with a wry smile. Sophie clinked her mug against his. "To proving them wrong." As they laughed, the city hummed on, unaware of the quiet revolution sparked in a diner booth. It wasn't just about an app or a deal, it was about seeing people, really seeing them, and realizing the world was bigger and brighter than any boardroom could contain.